So once you have a property profile created, the next step to get it active is to enter a lease and create a tenant profile for your tenant. You do this by visiting the property profile and navigating to the lease tab. In here, you'll see a lease box and a tenant box for you to enter the relevant information. Click edit on the lease to get started, and the first section is to enter the frequency and the amount that they pay for their rent. You can enter the weekly amount first, and if you'd like to change the frequency, you select that from the drop down and the system will calculate it for you. If you prefer to enter the monthly rent straight in, just simply select the frequency first. The next part is to select whether or not you need to collect a deposit. So if you are leasing the property for the first time, chances are you may want a deposit to be paid upfront and not necessarily applied to rent straight away. What this will allow you to do is request a tenant deposit, which will be held in their profile until you approve it to be applied to rent, or until you are ready to submit it to your owner, to disperse it to your owner. You can enter any water collection information, you can enter any bond IDs and bond amounts that you may have. And remember, if you only know the bond amount that you are due to collect and you don't have a bond number or a bond ID yet, you can come back and enter that at a later date once your relevant bond authority gives you those details. Moving down a little bit further, we've got our lease dates. So a lease start and lease end date as per the tenancy agreement, and then your first payment date will allow you to enter the date that you want to start processing payments through the system. So if I have a tenant that's moving in on the 1st of the 10th, 21, and they're signing a 12-month lease, they're going to be in there until the 30th of September 2022. But they may not be paying on the 1st of October. If we're in December or November, they might have already paid a couple of months to the previous agent, as an example. So the first payment is there to let you know when you would like to start collecting that money. So if it's a start of the tenancy and the tenancy starts on the 1st, you can enter that in there. So it'd be the 1st of the 10th. But if they've been paying a few months already and we're picking it up and we pick it up mid-November, then you're going to be entering the 1st of December as the first payment date. So that will mean that the very first rental payment that you collect will be for that December period because they're already paid to the 30th of November. Once you've got those details in the system, you can then go and create the tenant profile. So you do this by adding a first name, last name, an email address, which will be their managed ID, and their mobile number. Remember to ask the tenant if they already have a managed ID. There's a lot of users on the platform now, and if a tenant already exists within our system, they can remember all of their payment settings, their notification preferences and contact details simply by using the same account that they already have. Once they're entered, you'll get the option or a reminder to send them an invite to their profile, and you'll also get the option to activate the lease if all the info is correct. Remember, the activate function won't appear if you've asked for a deposit. That's an important thing to remember. If you ask for a deposit, that will need to be paid by the tenant before the activation option appears because you're waiting for those funds to come in to take it off the market. Once you see that button there, you click the thumbs up. It will prompt you whether or not you'd like to charge a fee. You can charge letting fees here, you can charge lease renewal fees here, or if it's simply the case of you picking up a management from another agency and you're just entering it into the system, you can skip both fees and proceed to activate. Once that lease is activated, you'll see all the relevant lease admin functions across the top, including where you can adjust rent to issue rent increases, you can change the dates in the system, you can add bond details, and you can enter termination dates from here as well. When you visit the property, you'll note that the status has now been changed to active because you've got a current lease. And the final thing you need to do is visit the tenant tab, navigate over to their profile, and send them an invitation so they can access their managed app profile. You do that the same way you do it for the owner, clicking on the profile, clicking edit, and clicking send invitation.